Alright, so here's my story. People always say like the same thing, like, oh, I should make a video on how I cut down from 300 pounds to 196 in just under a year or in a year and a half as a teenager still. And you truly maybe yourself are wondering, how did I end up getting to pretty healthy body fat after years of bad habits and video games and looking at P-Hub videos and all that stuff, and I'm able to basically get at this healthy range when I'm achieving mental clarity with myself. I'm doing better habits, and good habits are able to build me. So truly, you may be wondering like, oh, how did Amir end up actually losing all that weight in order to get healthy, in order to actually live a way better, happy, successful life? Because if you're going to be on my path, which I'm going to lay down the foundations for you, especially if you're a teenager who's been struggling with weight loss, because a lot of the fitness advice for teenagers are just like, oh, you should bulk, oh, you should do all this. Like, no, if you're at an unhealthy size, you should never be bulking to gain even more weight, no matter even if you're starting to train. Like, it doesn't matter if you're starting to train either. That's like Brian Shaw strongman competition levels, but you're enjoying like the fact that you're fat. So you're most likely watching this video because you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself subconsciously, I do not like my current physique. Perhaps you're like me as well. You're gaining copious amounts of body fat while telling yourself that it's baby fat, right? Your grandmother is feeding you lies that has never ever supported you in your journey at all, right? Like, she tells you the BS like that, like, oh, you're gaining, but you're gaining, it's just all baby fat, you're gonna lose it soon. It's crucial that at this age you get better in good habits as a teenager. So I'm gonna lay down the foundations for you in order to lose weight as a teenager. But first, before we even get into those points, I just want to clarify some things. There is no magic pill, no magic diet, no magic anything that's going to be able to make you lose a lot of weight, copious amounts of body fat. No cleanse teas, no supplements, no pills, even creatine itself isn't going to make you lose that body fat, right? And I'm saying this because I have years of experience as being a fat person, and I'm still 16 years old, and I'm a teenager, and I've managed to get into healthy levels of body fat, and I have proof of this as well. So truly, no diet, no nothing is going to obviously like make you gain or make you have an upper edge against other people who are going to be sharing the same path that I'm going to be laying the foundations to you. So hopefully you know this already, that you know that whatever you're doing is bad, whether that's eating the chips or whatever, whether that's eating the pizza, the copious amounts of caloric splurge that you're having, you already know that that's bad. But no diet is going to make you magically, by the snap of the fingers, are going to make you just magically lose all that weight. Though I have a method in order for you to effectively recomp, lose weights, and just get into a healthy body fat range when you're able to effectively bulk up muscle without feeling any bad, horrible feelings, because you know that the reason why you're bulking is so you can build muscle and like have a better metabolic edge and like a more functioning thyroid, right? Like for your metabolism and just like more calories to burn overall. So let's start first why the reason why you're at this size. Your mindset is everything while you're trying to lose weight. It really is everything. When I was 300 pounds, I was consistently going to the gym, and I kept telling myself, I need to keep on going. I need to keep doing this. And the first thing you can do in order to actually do this is a mindset protocol. So write this down in a book or something. This protocol is called the what, when, where protocol. And actually, I'm going to share another protocol with you as well, the if-then protocol. So what, when, where is a protocol you're able to use in order to boost your motivation and stuff and just daily life, like your fitness and everything. Just basically, it helps you get stuff done whilst also cutting the BS, right? Basically cutting the fat, right? So what, when, when, what, where is basically a process in which you end up just planning out your day. Like, what time am I, like, you know, just planning out your day, just what time I'm going to do this, what I'm going to be doing, when am I going to do it, and where I'm going to be doing it, right? That's the when, what, where. Because, you know, honestly, I could just tell you the straight up facts on just how to lose weight and losing body fat as a teenager and how I got to this healthy amount of range as a teenager. I could just tell you that, right? I could just give you the lay down facts, and perhaps, you know, you're scrolling through, your attention span is pretty bad. You're scrolling through, skimming through the parts where I'm going to be saying saying? Like the important parts for you to end up losing weight, right? Being lazy. But then if you don't have this mindset, right? If you don't have the mindset in order to keep on going, then what's the point of literally just watching me say the foundations and just like you're getting thrown at the wolves and you have no motivation or no discipline in order to actually do anything? Like, this is stuff that military and Navy SEALs do every single day. They have protocols where they wake up so they can keep being on the path, even like on a daily grind, right? So you need to understand this part, the when, what, where protocol. This is crucial as well for time management. So let's say like you're a busy guy, or like if you're, let's say like you're an adult watching this video, right? You're a busy guy and you don't have like enough time to be working out like consistently. The when, what, where protocol can literally just help you, dude. It really just, cause it can help you with your fitness endeavors and your goals, right? It doesn't even need to be only for fitness. It just helps overall to have a mindset where you can lose body fat and just get stuff done. So in order for this to work, you need to know like what you're going to be planning out throughout your day, like what tasks and goals I'm going to be done so I can get stuff done with my fitness later at the end of the day. Because copious amounts of people say every single time, I don't have time to work out, I have children and all that stuff. And that's a copious way of saying like I'm basically not prioritizing fitness. Because if you truly think that fitness is something that's very important, you would find a way. You will wake up earlier, you would work less on a project or something, you would share days off when you're babysitting with a workout partner, right? Go to a certain gym that has a daycare. Just a lot of stuff you're basically BSing about. And this is where the mindset goes in, where you need to be able to lose fat. Your mindset about losing fat is super important, more than anything else. I feel like it's just basically getting certain steps done. You must have the mindset first and just go to the next step, which is going to be like, the other stuff that's going to make you able to lose weight, which is train better, optimize sleep, just growing muscle, your diet, and whatever. These are all crucial things that matter. And the next thing I'm going to be talking about is the if-then scenario. Because hopefully by then you know like when, what, where is what you're able to like fully formulate into your life. Just like other protocols, like 80-20 Pareto's principle, or whatever the hell you want to, whatever principles that are able to like motivate you in your life. Doesn't matter, as long as you have a certain mindset. When, what, where is specifically a way better way to end up just losing weight or just getting tasks done. And it's because if it fully like tells you like what time am I going to do this thing, what I'm going to be doing, and when I'm going to be doing it, and where I'm going to be doing it, right? So if then is basically the same thing. So if I was given the chocolate donut, then I would politely decline. If I was giving a slice of pizza, then I would politely decline. Like, it's just basic stuff, And sure, this doesn't have necessarily nothing, this is stuff that you need to know. Because if you were given a chocolate donut or a slice of pizza, then you need to know what you're going to do in that situation. Are you going to accept that pizza and just be lazy, gain extra pounds of body fat, and say cope and be like, I can eat whatever I want on my diet or whatever? And sure, you can eat whatever you want whilst losing fat, and I'm going to get to that part too. You can be a teenager, eat the fucking Takis. You don't throw the fucking Takis in the trash, fatty. So it's crucial for me to give you these foundations in order for me just to, say the truth basically about the fitness community, because there's too much BS in the fitness community that's just be on this diet, eat a certain amount of carbs. You can eat whatever you want whilst losing fat, because if something happens, then you need to know what you're going to be doing in that situation. If somebody says that you're able to go to Golden Corral or something, a huge buffet, then you need to either politely decline or eat a certain amount of healthy food that you're going to be eating, right? Like you eat a certain amount of calories that you'll be eating healthily. Don't just go to the Golden Corral and be like, it's my cheat day or whatever, even though it's literally not your cheat day. It's usually in the middle of the week. It's Wednesday, and your fat friend just wanted to eat like a huge like dinner for you or something, just to eat out of copious reason. Say it's a social gathering, whatever. Then truly you need to know how you're going to react to that situation. What foods are you going to eat at that buffet? What are you going to be doing at the buffet? Okay, how can I not gain weight whilst being in this buffet? What drinks am I going to be drinking? Am I going to drink zero sugar stuff, or I'm going to just drink like water and stuff, or I'm going to be drinking like the more unhealthy stuff, like the sugary sodas or the juices and stuff, feel like artificial bullshit sugar that's like high in calories. All right, so after I got into those two simple mindsets, just the start of the video, this is literally just the start of the video. After I got done with those two simple mindsets, we're going to actually get into the whole process of weight loss. First thing to know is that how much do you think you're eating every single day? How much do you think you're eating every single day? Because you really need to know how much you're eating every single day, because that can be the change in order for you to lose your weight. When I was eating a whole bunch of food, right, when I was 300 pounds, I was eating foods like Takis, Snickers, chocolates, and all that stuff. It's probably a lot more than you think you're eating, right? You're probably eating like a fuck ton of food, right? That's literally just bullshitting you. You're most likely eating like the Takis and the pizza and all that stuff. The stuff that I ate when I was gaining a lot of weight, and just in general not being happy and depressively eating out of coke. Oh, you know, I'm just a teenager. I can make an excuse, you know. Well, I'm gonna start this weight loss later. Oh, it's just baby fat, you know. I'm gonna start the weight loss later. But, you know, by the time I turn 18, you know, I'm gonna start my weight loss, you know, my journey. I'm gonna start everything. Like, no. You need to understand this now, because it's crucial for me, since if I'm able to get to this point and I'm still a teenager, I'm still 16 years old, and food was the way basically, you know, I can cope and stuff, then you need to understand these principles indeed. Understanding how much you're eating every single day can truly know how much calories you're knowing every single day. And that's a word that I just introduced, calorie. A calorie is basically a unit of energy that's able to heat up 1 gram of water. And this is the exact same energy balance that we use. I basically just told you what every like 99.9% of fitness advice has literally told you on YouTube, right? You're most likely watching like a copious amount of like YouTube fitness videos, or how I can lose weight, 30-second ab workout videos, or whatever videos you're watching. You're probably watching those videos. The problem is that you're not taking action. You're still eating like the copious amounts of food, right? And this is where calories come from, which is literally the most crucial thing. If you understand how calories work, you understand how weight loss and fat loss work. So like I said, a calorie is a unit of energy that's able to boil you up a water by 1 gram. It's the same system we use for our bodies. Every time we intake, let's say, the cake or whatever, 300 calories consumed inside of us, we're able to use that as energy. And throughout that energy, it is used through macronutrients. Calories are made up of macronutrients. That's why they're called macros. Macro means big. Sure, macronutrients can also include those minerals that you get just from, like, you know, vitamins and all that stuff, but those are generally called micronutrients. Macronutrients are what builds up the calories. Those are what builds up the energy system that you're able to use. So what are your macronutrients? Proteins, fats, and carbs are your macronutrients. Let's start with protein first. Protein is an important substance in the body that's made up of many different amino acids. Our body produces non-essential amino acids, where it also makes up protein. And we must eat food that's high in protein, so let's say fish, nuts, eggs, seeds, bacon, chicken especially. Those foods are made up of several different proteins called amino acids, and they have different functions in the body. And look, like, this is a very important part that I'm saying here. Protein is, me talking about the macronutrients are a very important part, because you need to understand, this is the reason why people get so caught up with the low carb conundrum, the low fat conundrum, the low high, the keto, paleo, whatever BS people are talking about nowadays. This is the reason why people are saying all of this every single time, because they're confused. But we're going to get into the most basic one, the most one that you're able to definitely overindulge on, and I recommend overindulging in a protein source if you are going to go like on a cheat day. At least eat like a high protein if you're going to have a cheat day, because protein is way more crucial than you think. Sure, I could tell you the basics, like, oh, eat high protein. Oh, no. I need to give you the basics, stuff that's basic but people aren't understanding. Protein actually helps you lose more fat, and actually a high protein diet has been proven several times to be the only way to lose fat. But like I said, we're not specifically dieting, right? We're trying to have like a way we're able to like lose fat, lose weight while eating whatever we want. Protein, however, is something that is super crucial in your weight loss diet. Why? Protein helps you build more muscle while you're going to the gym, which helps you burn more calories because it stimulates your BMR. The protein that's literally built up from amino acids are able to repair cells. They're able to do a lot of things basically. So eating a high protein diet is super crucial. And you may be wondering, what's your BMR? BMR is your basal metabolic rate. It's the amount of calories you burn every single day just by bodily functions. So let's say I burn 1,900 calories every single day just by just sitting around and just letting my body do its thing. It just makes it have just make the nutrients go through and all that stuff. Then that's my BMR. That's how much I burn every single day with a sedentary amount, just because my body is functioning correctly. And so protein is crucial because if you're pairing that with exercise and you're eating a high protein diet and you're building muscle, of course you're going to be losing fat. You're going to be building muscle. You're able to be burning more calories, which can help you get into a caloric deficit, right? It needs to burn more energy, right, in order for you to grow, and so you can maintain homeostasis. So all I'm going to say, one thing I'm going to say, eat a high protein diet. It's very crucial for you to eat a high protein diet. A lot of people say, oh, but sometimes I eat like 400 grams of protein every single day or something, I feel like that's bad because you create like too much cancerous cells and too much overgrowth. That's bullshit. Like when you see people like say that shit, notice how like they have truly terrible physiques, right? And 9 times out of 10, most of these people saying, protein can cause cancer. 9 times out of 10, they're literally fat. Oh, protein causes cancer. No, you need protein, dumbass. No, you need to eat a high protein diet in order to lose fat. That's all I'm going to say for the protein section. Now I'm going to go to the carbohydrate section. Carbohydrates have been so misunderstood nowadays. Truly. So what is a carbohydrate? A carbohydrate is what gives us energy throughout our day by stimulating a little molecule that's inside our blood called glucose. Glucose is our blood sugar. When we're eating that donut and we go for a run, what happens? Insulin spikes and it creates glucose to break down the donut and uses it for our energy. It uses the energy from that glucose for our run. So you may be wondering, so that means glucose is the energy. Carbohydrates in general is the evil as well, and that's not exactly the case. Like I said, in order for you to lose fat or even to gain weight in general, you need to be in a caloric deficit or in a caloric surplus. You can eat how much carbs you want while still losing fat. And it's preferable to eat high carb, especially if you're more physically active, because it gives you more mental clarity and less burnout when you're working out. This is where people get into the part where insulin starts coming, like, insulin is the villain, insulin. And no, you're getting it all wrong. Insulin is not the villain. It just helps regulate the glucose that you get from the carbs. What is the villain is that you're using too much of that glucose for BS reasons, or you're not even, let's not say using it. It's more like you're not using glucose at all because you're being sedentary. Because truly, it's not the glucose or the insulin's fault that's making you be so sick and unhealthy and obese and diabetic, right? It's not its fault. It's your fault because of the fact that you're not exercising, the fact that you're eating too much of it and not burning it off. Because either way, it's not the insulin, because if we're not going to be using it, it's just going to be turned into glycogen. Glycogen is a form of stored energy that's coming from the glucose. So you're eating that donut, but you didn't go for the run. Glycogen is going to be stored in the liver or the muscle cells. The problem is that when we're eating too much of it without burning it off, we get diabetic. It just stays there, right? And we get diabetic from it. So that's the problem. It's not because of the carbs. The problem is that a lot of people are lazy nowadays and they're not burning that energy off, and they're wondering why they're not losing weight, why they're not building muscle, why they're not losing fat. Because of the fact that you're not exercising enough, or you're eating too much, you're on a calorie surplus on your maintenance side. And next is fat. Fat is very simple. There are 2 types, saturated fats and unsaturated fats. It's a whole conundrum of fats, right? So I'm not going to get too much into it because there are multiple different types of fats. And I'm not going to get too much into the fat part, like, unsaturated fats, saturated fats, because it's too much to go over. Just like how there's too many amino acids or there's too many sugars from the carbs. Fats are made out of lipids, which are too complex to explain because there are many different types of lipids just as much there are many types of different carbs. So fats are an important staple of a diet. You may be wondering, but dietitians say to limit fat, specifically saturated fat. Dietitians say, oh, limit saturated fats. And that's one thing I can agree with dietitians and the World Health Organization in general, is to limit the amount of saturated fats. Because saturated fats may be likely linked to like bad cholesterol levels. You may be wondering, cholesterol, yeah, we know cholesterol is bad, but cholesterol isn't necessarily bad. It's a type of cholesterol that's bad, right? There are two types of cholesterol, LDLs and HDLs. LDL cholesterol is cholesterol that is really bad. It can soak up into our blood vessels because of how small the particles are. So LDL just means low density lipoprotein, and it soaks up into our blood vessels. This can get into our heart, where we can get a heart attack when we're eating too much fried foods or like French fries and all that stuff. We risk ourselves getting heart diseases and blood vessel ruptures, high blood pressure. All that is caused because of LDLs. Now HDLs are the opposite. They clear up the low density lipoproteins by flushing them out, and they help have many different bodily functions. So how does this have to do with fat? Because fat and cholesterol are two connected things. You may be seeing people be like, oh, don't eat eggs because eggs have high cholesterol. No, you should still eat, and I recommend eating a lot of eggs because eggs can help stimulate thyroid health because of the fat content that's in the eggs. And that's specifically because eggs also have good cholesterol in it. It doesn't have that bullshit bad LDL cholesterol that's in it. So after breaking down the many different macronutrients, because there's not really much I can say about fats, because like I said, it's too complex to understand, but just note that fats are very crucial because they help build testosterone, which also helps stimulate metabolic health. It helps have many different hormone health, which can help build more muscle and lose more fat. Just understand that with fatty acids and lipids. After that, we're getting back into just basic energy expenditure, a calorie deficit, calorie maintenance, and calorie surplus. In order for you to truly lose weight and body fat, you should eat a high protein diet whilst eating in a calorie deficit. Now, a lot of people are just going to say, oh, go into this little diet or just only strictly go on a calorie deficit. But you need to understand that your macronutrients, they're called macros for a reason, because they help you have the energy or build the muscle or have the hormone balance, right? These foods help you achieve homeostasis without literally having you to die, right? These processes are just used for you so you can maintain and just be basically alive in existence. In order for you to lose the weight, it requires you to be in a caloric deficit. Now you could get through this through, let's say, exercise, or just eating less calories that you're getting through from your basic metabolic rate. And obviously the opposite is going to be same for if you're trying to bulk up in weight. Now next up is exercise. Exercise is very, very, very crucial. It touches near panacea when it comes to exercise. Exercise is actually the thing that people should be doing more than drinking all these cleansed teas or getting on all these bullshit diets. You need to start exercising more. Now you may be wondering, what exercises should you be doing? You should be prioritizing not the cardio exercises, but the strength training exercises. Why? Because sure, these exercises don't burn as much calories from running, but they have many different other effects, like the afterburn effect. They help raise your metabolic rate, help you build more muscle, which can also even more raise your metabolic rate. There's a lot of stuff that's going through with strength training, and this isn't me like saying like bullshitting on cardio, though it depends. It's a certain amount of cardio that you should be doing, which is a high intensity interval training cardio. Now you may be wondering, I'm a teenager, I don't have access to a gym, I don't have access to none of this. There are several teenage programs which you're just being too scared and most likely just being too much of a pussy, right? I don't want to call you a pussy, but you're most likely being too scared and too much of basically something if you're not finding programs or literally free summer camps or whatever. Take Planet Fitness. When I was first starting out my weight loss journey, I would go to Planet Fitness, and that would help me because Planet Fitness during the summer would give you 3 months free. If you're between the ages of 14 and 19 years old, you're basically able to go to Planet Fitness for free. Now, there's certain exercises though that you do need to prioritize are compound lift exercises. You need to have a multiple split, which also has many different compound exercises. So none of those isolation exercises that mainly only build one muscle or just in general engage only in one muscle. Now you may be wondering, what are the compound lifts that you should be doing? There are 4 different compound lifts that everybody should be doing. 1, the bench press. 2, the squats. 3, the deadlift, and 4, the overhead press / or military press. Those are the compound exercises, which I guarantee if you incorporate all 4 of those into your workout routine, you're able to effectively get lean. This is it's perfect because in general it also builds strength if you're doing those 4 compound lifts. They engage in many different muscles and they engage in many different stimuli, which help you gain muscle and build strength. There's one last thing I want to say though. I just basically gave you everything on how you're able to lose weight and you're able to do all this stuff. I just gave you every single basic information. But overall, the key thing that's going to help you lose body fat and lose weight in general is just whatever functions you want to do. If you want to build muscle, that's bulking. If you want to maintain, just maintain. When you want to lose fat, that's cutting. It's crucial to understand these things as a teenager. Everybody is too obese, and no diet is going to surely make you lose weight and lose body fat. What matters is 2 things: high protein dieting and being in a caloric deficit in order for you to lose fat. So that's all I'm going to say. If you guys want me to make a certain video on how to build the aesthetic muscles, if you want a video on how to build something like that, then like the video below and just peace out. I gave you the basic fundamentals of weight loss and fat loss in general. Peace out.